Good morning, everybody. This is Tina with Tina's Crafty Ink Spot. Today I was playing and I saw this technique somewhere and I'm not sure where. And I thought I better share it because it has to do with snow, creating dimensional snow on your cards. And with the holidays coming, then wow, who doesn't want snow on their cards? So what we're going to do, it's just going to be a really quick video just to show you how I did it. You can experiment and make it your own. So what we're going to start with is a Christmas tree to do our image, and I'm going to use the new set Winter Woods. And I want to use this pine tree here that has some nice dimension to it when you stamp it. It's got the lights and the darks, and I think Stampin' Up! Kind of calls these distinctive stamps, and I really enjoy them. They add texture to your cards without even you having to work at it. So we're going to start with that, and I'm not a big fan of using my block, but I was testing, so we're going to move over to the Stamparatus here. Apologize for a little bit of dark. I've got a new camera on its way, so hopefully these will come out better. I'm going to put my cardstock in my Stamparatus. Line up my tree about where I want it. I'm just going to do probably a centered tree, that way I can add more to it when I build my card. For the ink, I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow. The shaded spruce looks really good with this technique too. It's the new kind of brighter pine green. So let's go ahead, pick up our stamp. Now when you're using the Stamparatus and you're using a clear mount stamp, you don't have to use this foam mat. I use it because I think my image stamps better with it. And you'll be real excited to know Stampin' Up's coming up with grid sheets that will fit in your Stamparatus. So I'm real excited about those coming. Keeps you from getting your foam or your plate inky, easy to wipe off. So we're just going to ink up this stamp. And I'm going to grab baby wipe because my ink pad is very new, so I just want to get these edges off so I don't get ink where I don't want it. Then we're going to stamp our image. I'm going to stamp two of these because I'm going to show you two different snow looks. There's our one. We'll set that aside to dry. See if I can line this up about where it was. Pick up our stamp. Kind of want to use a little bit of pressure and leaving your stamp down for a second or two gives the ink time to transfer to your paper. Clean that up a little bit. Look at the, I mean, just alone, this tree is really pretty. And there is a die that goes with it. You can cut this out and it'll give it three-dimensional. We'll do that one another time. Let me move this aside. You're going to need your heat gun or heat tool. I call it a gun. See how I am. You'll need white embossing powder. And for the second one, we need a little bit of Dazzling Diamonds, which is iridescent type glitter, and it's really fine. So I will start on the one that is the driest. You also need your fine tip glue pen. Let's take our glue pen apart. And what I want to do is I want to add snow on my branches about where I would think snow has fallen. Oh, I've got a little bubble there. So you're just going to do some little lines of the fine tip glue pen. And I'm kind of just going on the tops of the branches, add a little bit in the middle. It doesn't have to be exact science. You're just putting something down that the embossing powder can adhere to. And you'll see when we do this, by using the glue pen, your embossing powder will actually puff up and look like snow. They used to have years ago snow pens you could get. They may still be out there, where it's basically the same sort of effect, and it was a little liquid pen you could put on your projects and just heat it and it would puff up. Well, here now we can do this with the supplies we have without buying another item. So on the first one, let me put my top in my pen. On this first one, we're just going to use simply the white embossing powder. And for the sake of this video, I just use a little piece of scrap paper sometimes. It's just easy to pour your embossing powder right back into your container. So we're going to cover this in embossing powder. Tap it off. And you can already see how it, just like that, looks good. But we are going to do a little trick. And always put your lid back on. About the first time you hit it with a heat tool, you'll remember to put your lid on. And this might get noisy for a second. We're going to heat it up as soon as I turn on the power. Now when I'm using my heat tool, I kind of like to give it a second to warm up. And I also heat the back of my project just a little bit to get the paper warm. And then we're just going to heat it up. But I'm going to see if I can get this in the camera where you'll see it puffing up. Doesn't take but a few minutes. You'll see it go into action. Hopefully that's showing up on my camera. You can see it bubbling. There we go. So I'm going to give that a second to cool. And then when you feel it, it feels like bubbly snow. So you could do landscapes, anything with this. On the second trick, what I did is we're going to do our snow. So I'm just picking some branches, putting a little stream of glue on there. Lines. And you don't need a lot, just enough that your embossing powder will stick to it. Just hit a few branches where your snow has fallen. And now on this one, the only difference is, sorry, I gotta put this little pin in there. Wow. You know, you're getting old trying to get that pin in there. All I did different is I have my white embossing powder, and I just put a little bit of it in a sheet of paper because you don't need a lot. And I added just a little bit of Dazzling diamonds. Mix it up. In fact, I just did this, so I used quite a bit of it. I'm going to add just a little more Dazzling diamonds. And as you see, you need very little. And then I'm just going to pick up my powder and my glitter. tap it off. Yeah, dog lint. So dog hair. If you come to my house, there's dog hair and everything. Okay, so now this one, when we heat it up, it not only puffs up, but it gives you that snow look of shimmer. I imagine this done on some dark cardstock would look really pretty. And somehow, just the glue and the embossing powder makes it puff up and bubble. I'll try to show you the dimension. So I don't know if you can see it in the camera. You can see it a little bit there where it puffs up off of the cardstock. And it just, and then with the snow, you have the glitter or the non-glitter. And I just thought it was a really cute technique, and I just wanted to share it with you really quick, because 'tis the season for shiny things to make these kind of cards. So I hope you like this quick tutorial, and have a happy stamping day.